Thank you very much. Please be seated. Hi, you're very close. Good evening, and thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, Kathy Rapp, for that kind introduction. Kathy is a great county legislator, not only for her district, but for the entire county. She takes the time and does her homework, and her voice is always one of the most reasoned and thoughtful contributions to any issue being discussed. I enjoy working with you, Kathy, and I appreciate you being here this evening. Yes. Thank you, Kathy. I would also like to thank Tim Burtis for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Tim's our newest legislator, and he was just elected this fall for his first full term. Congratulations on your election, and welcome. And I'd like to welcome Chairman Ryan McMahon, floor leaders Pat Kilmartin and Linda Irvin, Ways and Means Chair Dave Knapp, and all our county legislators. I'd also like to welcome Sheriff Gene Conway and our new county clerk, Lisa Dell. Congratulations, Lisa. We're happy to have you here. And I understand our county comptroller, he said he might be a little late, but welcome to our county comptroller. Welcome Mayor Miner and the members of your team that you have joined with us here this evening. There's also representatives of our state legislators, members of the Common Council, representatives from Governor Cuomo's office, Congressman Katko's office. Our college presidents are here, elected officials from towns and villages, and superintendents from our school districts. And I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. And I would like to give a special welcome to Empire State Development President and CEO Howard Zemsky, who's here with us tonight. Thank you very much, Howard. And also with us tonight are the three people that I rely on daily, and they do a great job moving our county government forward. They are our three deputy county executives, Bill Fisher, Ann Rooney, and Mary Beth Primo. Thank you for all you do. And I know we have our department heads here, and I'd like to take a minute to welcome all of our department heads, and I'd like to introduce those that have joined the team since we were here last year. We have Dan Weirs, the Director of Emergency Management, Lisa Alford, our Commissioner of Adult and Long-Term Care Services, Barry Gawanter, our Executive Director of Human Rights, and our County Attorney, Bob Durr. Thank you all for what you're doing. Welcome to the team. Okay, most importantly, I want to welcome the county employees that are here. You are the ones that are in the trenches, and you're working hard to deliver the high quality services that our residents have really come to expect. And I want to thank the county employees for all that you do. And so here I am to deliver to you, the members of the county legislature, my state of the county. I am pleased to report that from a fiscal perspective, the state of the county is strong. We ended 2015 with a surplus of $11.5 million, thanks mostly to lower state mandates. The state has gradually begun to take responsibility for its own bills, and that is reflecting positively in our budget. Working in partnership with you in the legislature, the property tax levy is less than $140 million for the second year in a row, and that's a level we haven't seen since 1989. The lower tax levy combined with the growth in value makes it possible to lower the tax rate to $5.10 per thousand. It's a 30% reduction in the rate since I became county executive, and it represents a new historic low. In addition to the property tax levy, the bulk of the money collected locally comes in the form of sales tax revenue. A reliance on sales tax revenue is the reason that we make an almost constant effort to generate economic activity and draw people to our community. Sales tax is affected greatly by the cost of gasoline, and while lower gas prices are good for all of us in many ways, they do present a bump in the road in terms of providing funds for the operation of county government. Consider this, in February of 2014, the average price of a gallon of gas in Onondaga County was $3.52 a gallon. Today, that average is $1.83 a gallon. That is a drop of $1.69 or 48% in the cost of gas. Despite this, our sales tax revenue for 2015 was virtually flat, which means that outside of what has happened with gas prices, our sales tax is growing, and it is an encouraging sign that our efforts are indeed reaping benefits. Our strong fiscal condition is how we're able to make the investments we do and to provide a high quality of service to the taxpayers. The investments are perhaps most noticeable in the area of infrastructure. In fact, as I begin my third term, it is interesting to see the progress we've made since I became county executive. And since 2008, Onondaga County has paved 393.5 miles of roads, and we've surface treated another 319 miles, including Adams Street and Harrison Street in the city of Syracuse. We replaced, repaired, or installed more than 16 miles of large diameter sewer pipes, many of which are in the city of Syracuse. We replaced roofs on 11 county buildings, including the War Memorial, the Justice Center, Jamesville Correction, the Convention Center, and the Civic Center, which itself had 8 different layers of roof on it. We repaired 32 bridges and completed 180 different Save the Rain projects. We expanded the War Memorial Ice Rink to meet NHL standards so the Crunch can play on regulation ice. And we constructed 9.1 megawatts of solar arrays at the Metropolitan Water Board, WEP, and Jamesville. We replaced 636 windows in the Civic Center, and I want to thank all of you for your patience. By the way, many of our employees worked in a construction zone for much of the last year. We built a spectacular amphitheater in just 6 months, and we renovated the Central Library. We will have a beautiful new ground floor space to welcome the public in the galleries. And I think we're being joined here tonight by former Deputy County Executive Ed Kochan. Ed continues to be extremely helpful to me in his retirement, and I think he will be pleased to know that our facilities department has remodeled almost the entire Kochan office building and is ready to begin on the Civic Center. And here's a picture of the recently renovated 3rd floor of the Central Library. It is now open, and I'm looking forward to sharing pictures with you when the entire project is complete. Successfully maintaining our infrastructure is perhaps the most fundamental function of government, and it's a duty we take seriously. I want to thank everyone who's helped us maintain our focus on this core function. Besides infrastructure, one of the county's most visible assets is our park system. 2015 was an excellent year, and we intend to build on the success with new docks at the amphitheater and a kayak and canoe launch on the Seneca River. Thank you very much to the members of the legislature for continuing to support the projects that will truly make Onondaga Lake one of the best places to be in central New York in the summer. Last summer, the Parks Department built a family fun zone deck at NBT Bank Stadium. The new structure provides a great on-the-field experience for fans. When the internationally known Bassmaster organization hosts its Northern Open Fishing tournaments every year throughout the Northeast, they generally expect about 100 participants. When they came to Oneida Shores in August, though, they set an all-time record and tripled their past attendance records, attracting 392 anglers to compete for a portion of more than $250,000 in prize money. In addition, Bassmaster ranked Oneida Lake as one of the best fisheries in 2015. And I was very happy to hear, after we had the governor's cabinet here last fall, that he plans to bring his fishing tournament to Onondaga Lake this summer. The Rosamond Gifford Zoo broke ground on an outdoor patio for zoo events. The patio was funded by the Friends of the Zoo, and it will allow us to hold some of our events outdoors. Our elephant herd will be swimming in their new pool this summer. The pool provides a more diverse and natural environment for the zoo's herd of Asian elephants. The project was an important part of the zoo's accreditation, which keeps us among the top 10% of zoos in the nation. It'll be great to see the elephants swimming once again in a naturalized pond, and this project, too, was funded by the Friends of the Zoo, and I want to thank the Friends of the Zoo for all they do. For those of you who know me well, one of my favorite parts of my job is when I get to introduce the new baby animals at the zoo. In 2015, we were joined by Monterey and Jack, our North American river pups. Batu, an Asian elephant calf, was born, and Rohan and Pumani, our new red panda cubs. We expect many more babies this spring, and I want to thank Ted Fox and our extraordinary zookeepers in advance for putting up with me, because I intend to be there a lot. If you haven't been in a while, I encourage you to come out and visit our zoo or any of our other outstanding county parks. And I want to thank Commissioner Bill Lansley and the whole county parks team for all you do. And I'm hoping that many of you have had the opportunity to meet our health commissioner, Dr. Indu Gupta. We are so happy to have Dr. Gupta back in Central New York. Under her dynamic leadership and a fresh set of eyes looking at everything we do, the health department is truly engaging with our community in ways it never has before. Dr. Gupta has injected healthy families with a new spirit of community participation and collaboration, and the department is well on its way to becoming only the 3rd accredited county health department in New York State. Through Dr. Gupta's tireless efforts and in conjunction with her staff, the frightening heroin epidemic is coming out of the shadows. Many of you attended the Opiate and Heroin Forum that was sponsored by the County Drug Task Force in January. The need for safe and controlled treatment is essential to addressing the epidemic, and we currently have a severe shortage of available treatment in the community. In the coming month, I'm going to propose to you in the legislature that you add $100,000 to our partnership with Crouse Hospital's outpatient treatment program so that Crouse professionals can expand their treatment operations. To that end, keeping prescription drugs off the street is an important part of the effort, and I'm proud to announce that Onondaga County has started a prescription drug drop box program. It's a place for residents to dispose of prescription drugs and ensure that they're not left someplace where they could pose a danger or make their way into our water system. This is a partnership with the Citizens Campaign for the Environment, the Onondaga County Health Department, the District Attorney, the Sheriff, and the Office of the Environment. And I want to thank Travis Glazier for coordinating this very important effort. On the public safety side, both 911 and emergency management have been busy. In 2015, the dedicated call takers and dispatchers at 911 answered more than 600,000 calls, and they dispatched more than 500,000 police, fire, and emergency medical incidents. This represented a 6.8% increase in calls over 2014, and yet still, our 911 employees continue to score high marks on customer service surveys and remain among the best trained and most competent in the business. And our emergency management office has been focused on ensuring that our community is prepared in the event of a disaster. Commissioner Dan Weirs has been a great addition to our team. And in 2015, Onondaga County participated in full-scale exercises with the Syracuse Airport Authority, Syracuse University, the Health Department, the Sheriff's Office, Probation, and Oswego County in relative to the nuclear plants up there. The department also participated in more than 10 tabletop exercises with organizations across the county and led the design, development, and implementation of a plan for a hazardous materials incident occurring along the rail lines. On a similar note, Onondaga County's Department of Transportation really stepped up last year when our state was bombarded with snow. Commissioner Brian Donnelly's team assumed responsibility for a number of state roads so that the New York State DOT could deploy additional resources to the parts of the state where they were hit especially hard. This was a tremendous help for our neighbors across the state, and it was accomplished seamlessly by the men and women in our transportation department. Thank you very much for a job well done. Please let me take a minute to update you on the Human Services reorganization that we undertook a few years ago. You might remember that we reorganized to knock down silos and improve outcomes for the people we serve. We strive for the efficient delivery of high-quality services, and we've been particularly focused on outreach and outcomes. As you hear about our accomplishments, you may notice that I don't refer as much to specific departments as I have in the past. That's an indication that the reorganization that's been led by Deputy County Executive Ann Rooney has really been successful. We focused on improving outreach within the Hispanic community by translating multiple informational materials regarding vital services such as health insurance and counseling, medication management, and the Neighborhood Advisor Program. And our New York Connects was selected as one of 3 pilot counties to assist and recommend procedures to the New York State Office for the Aging with the statewide implementation of No Wrong Door. No Wrong Door is a single point of access system. When people come to the county for help, their concerns cross multiple departments, and no matter where they enter, we can help them. It's what we're supposed to do, and we work all the time to try to do it better. We're also bringing services into our school systems to tackle some of the barriers that our children are facing when they're trying to learn. Thanks to funding provided through the Office of Assemblyman Magnarelli, we now have more than 100 child welfare staff in the Syracuse, East Syracuse, Manoa, and Solvay school districts. These workers focus on student-family issues in an effort to help with academic performance and improvement. As part of this, we created a special unit of Child Protective Services caseworkers, and we attached it directly to the Syracuse City School District. Our efforts regarding juvenile justice center on diversion for low-risk offenders, and we maintain contact now after the formal case closes. I am proud to say that that effort has resulted in a 40% reduction in the recidivism risk. That really is tremendous. Unfortunately, one of the most visible signs of failures within our support system structures is seen through homelessness. Our service agencies have been focused heavily on this, and we are working with the Downtown Committee and the Homeless Housing Coalition to develop a coordinated street outreach to address homelessness and individuals with severe mental health and substance abuse conditions. Jamesville Correctional Facility came in under budget last year because they were better able to manage overtime without compromising security. At the same time, the community crew was still very active in providing labor at Onondaga Lake Park, NBT Stadium, Veterans Memorial Cemetery, Jamesville Beach, and others. And in 2015, the inmate crew exceeded the number of hours it worked from the previous year and provided over 4,800 hours of labor for Onondaga County. With the support of our legislature, we also built the Second Chance Canine Adoption Facility at Jamesville. It was completed and dedicated in October, and it has not only met our expectations, but it has far exceeded them in the very short time it has been operating. Chris Nadeau is an inmate at the Jamesville Correctional Facility, and he's working at the shelter, and he graciously agreed to be interviewed about his work there, and it really is unbelievable, the work that's been done. Many, many people made the shelter a reality, but I want to single out 2 of them that have gone way above and beyond to make it a success. Assistant Corrections Commissioner John Heisler III and Justin Sales from the County Executive Office. I want to thank you 2 for going way above and beyond. Okay, also happening at Jamesville is a wonderful program for our military veterans. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to our veterans, and in December, we launched another new initiative at Jamesville to focus on veteran services for our incarcerated veterans. It's appropriately called the Soldier On program, and the mission is to provide inmates who are veterans with the services and support they need to prepare them to carry on healthy, productive lives in homes of their own upon discharge from incarceration. Our Veteran Service Agency worked with more than 4,600 veterans and 4,100 spouses of veterans to obtain the benefits that they have earned. Last year, our Veteran Service Agency processed an average of 551 claims per month, and that makes Onondaga County one of the leading counties in New York State. And I want to acknowledge Corliss Dennis and her team in the Veteran Service Agency. Thank you for what you do. So you have heard me highlight a few of our talented department heads, and I wish I could highlight them all. I am very fortunate to work with an incredible team of managers and a strong, dedicated workforce. They excel, even though we have a lot fewer people working here than we did when we started. To our department heads, managers, and staff, you make it look easy. You do great work, and I appreciate it. In addition to covering the basics and making sure that our roads, sewers, water pipes, and facilities are in good working order and that we serve the people that we are here to serve, we strive to do even more, and we have some good progress to report. The $70 million renovation of the Hotel Syracuse is nearly complete. The new Marriott Syracuse Downtown is already accepting reservations for this summer. Onondaga County has dedicated this hotel as the new official convention center hotel, and we can't wait for it to open. This is a project that the community's been hearing about for a decade, and we are proud of our role in bringing it back to life. I want to personally thank, yes. I want to personally thank Deputy County Executive Bill Fisher. Bill has had a weekly standing meeting on this project for the last 2 years. Or at least that's where he says he is, right? He has been involved in nearly every detail. Thank you, Bill, for your hard work. It will be very gratifying to meet you in the lobby to toast our extraordinary past while we look forward with great expectation to the future. Thank you, Bill. A few months ago, we told you that 420 jobs will be coming right next door to this facility when Sora opens its facility to manufacture LED lights using a unique process that creates better lighting. As you can see, the plant is well underway and will be up and running by the end of the year. Sora is investing $1.3 billion in this operation, and we are excited to have them here. Projects like Sora are possible because of our collaboration with our partners in state government. The Regional Economic Development Council and the Upstate Revitalization Initiative created by Governor Cuomo and the state legislature are having an incredible effect on this region. You may know that we won the $500 million URI competition, but did you also know that we have been the most successful region over the past 5 years? Between the Red Sea and the URI, as we have come to refer to both, Governor Cuomo and the state have invested $844.5 million in Central New York. As I mentioned earlier, our ESD President and CEO, Howard Zemsky, is here. And Howard, it is thanks to you and the work of your team that all of this is being implemented in Central New York. Thank you very much. The Red Sea investments are the primary reason that downtown and beyond have experienced a rebirth. The investments can be seen all over the county. And on behalf of our whole community, I am grateful to our partners in the state for making it happen. Here's just a sampling of the projects that have been supported with the Red Sea investment from New York State. The Hotel Syracuse, Infocon, which expanded its manufacturing operations, supporting 200 jobs, the Inner Harbor, the 420 new jobs at Sora next door, US Optical, which built a new clean room to expand its manufacturing, St. Joseph's Hospital, which has seen tremendous growth, Crouse Hospital, which is renovating both its NICU and its emergency departments, Rapid Response, which projects 175 new jobs as a result of its expansion. There have been improvements in Armory Square, There are great projects that have been supported on the near west side as part of their initiative, and downtown housing projects on Warren Street and Jefferson Street, and so many more. And now that we have also won the URI competition, we have so much more to look forward to. And I want to thank co-chairs, Syracuse University Chancellor Kent Severud and Center State CEO President Rob Simpson, and all the members of the Regional Economic Development Council. And success builds on success. When the projects like the ones that we just listed are completed with the assistance of either the County IDA or the Onondaga County Civic Development Corporation, the transactions generate fees which we use to fund more worthwhile projects. And some of those projects I will sample here for you. These are some of the great things that we were able to do with the fees that are generated from these projects. We supported the Community Prosperity Initiative with a $500,000 grant to link low-income job seekers to career opportunities with local employers. And together we purchased 437 North Salina Street as a business incubator for the north side of the city of Syracuse. OSIDA also purchased 435 North Salina Street, another deteriorating building, bought in cooperation with Onondaga Community College as a center to train individuals as owners and operators of restaurants. We supported Juneteenth, a celebration which also provides health screenings, employment opportunities, and social services information to a predominantly African-American audience. The Near West Side Initiative is constructing rehearsal and theater space in an old downtown building with money from our Civic Development Corporation. Our funds provided the loan guarantee for the Strathmore Huntley building to create affordable housing in an historic building located in a city neighborhood. And we supported the Eat to Live food co-op in the 2300 block of South Salina Street. But one of the ways taxpayers benefit directly is that we use the fees generated by our projects to pay our economic development staff and to pay the rent for the combined city-county economic development office. And all of these projects are possible thanks to the good work of OSIDA, OCDC, and our economic development team led by Julie Serio. Thank you all very much. In addition to all the economic development investment that the state is making, the state is also investing $50 million in the New York State Fairgrounds. When combined with the lake improvements and the road work and reinvestment in Solvay, it will completely change the look of the west side of Onondaga Lake. The grandstand and the old front entrance are already gone, and when the fair opens this year, you will see a brand new front gate, an expanded midway, and an RV park which will complement our amphitheater. Concert promoters are telling us that we are creating an ideal location to host music festivals. In addition, there'll be a new pedestrian bridge from Bridge Street, a new pedestrian gate to get into the fair, and our Community Development Director, Bob Demore, and his staff are working on the designs for 17 commercial properties around the intersection of Milton and Bridge Streets. And here's a picture of a before and after that Community Development did in the village of Camillus. They do outstanding work and they're ready to go in Solvay this year. Solvay Mayor Ron Benedetti and Geddes Town Supervisor Manny Falcone have been great partners, and I'm really looking forward to what the village of Solvay is going to look like. And the lake itself continues to make progress. When I took office and changed course from the construction of sewage treatment plants to a more environmentally friendly strategy, using a more balanced approach with green infrastructure in the program we call Save the Rain, we agreed in federal court to increase the amount of overflows that we would capture from 89% to 95%. Many people cautioned against our agreeing to the higher standards because they thought it would be very difficult to meet the goal. But I'm pleased to report that we met the higher standard 4 years ahead of schedule. Commissioner Tom Rhodes and his team have done a tremendous job, and we are now expanding the focus from the quantity of the overflow we capture to one of water quality. We are introducing a new marketing campaign to help with the effort, and it's been on the screen, so you've probably read it by now. It's called Connect the Drops. It is a public awareness outreach program, and it's going to engage the community to help clean up and prevent litter that makes its way into the lake. As Commissioner Rhodes says, we intend to run through the finish line. And when we talk about success and potential and excitement, just take a step back and look around you. The SUNY Poly Film Hub has brought a whole new excitement to our region. This is an industry that people have been trying to bring to Syracuse for years, but with little success. Announced at my State of the County in 2014, the Film Hub is fundamentally changing the way people look at Syracuse. Growing up, the movie Slapshot was filmed here, and we talked about it for years because it was so rare. Now we have an almost constant film presence, and with the Film House Studios as a permanent tenant in this building. Ron Perlman's Wing and a Prayer Productions recently wrapped filming for the movie Pottersville here in January. And in addition to the excitement of seeing the film crews around town, it's a great economic boost. When I was here in the studio talking to some of the temporary transplants to our community, I asked them what they were enjoying while they were here, and they very quickly ticked off a long list of favorite restaurants and places to shop. This is the building you are in right now. They built a snow-covered forest right here in this building. And American Dresser, starring Tom Berenger and Keith David, was filmed here, and its budget gives you a glimpse into why it's so valuable for us to have movies made here. The budget for American Dresser included over $100,000 for hotel rooms, over $120,000 to rent cars, RVs, and art supplies that they purchased here locally. $500,000 for a local payroll for labor, crew, and extras, and it totals more than $800,000 that was spent here locally during that film. That is a lot of money circulating in our economy, and that's just one film. Film Commissioner Eric Vinyl and the SUNY Poly team are continuing to grow the fledgling business, and word is out that we have a state-of-the-art facility and a community filled with great people who are very welcoming to the filmmakers. As a matter of fact, we like having filmmakers here so much that we don't actually let them leave. Joining us tonight is writer, director, and actor Carmine Cangelosi, and with his permission and a little bit of luck, I would like to show you the trailer for his feature film, American Dresser. It's very exciting for us to have the trailer for the first movie that was made here at our Film Hub. If you watch carefully, and it works, you will see some familiar places. Here it is, American Dresser. That is so exciting, and that, I think, is Bruce Dern's van, and I saw Oakwood Cemetery, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not telling any secrets out of school, I think that was Eric Vinyl's mother's house. Carmine, thank you so much for choosing this Film Hub as the location for your film. We love working with you, and we look forward to hosting you here again. What was only an idea a couple of years ago is a reality now, and the future is bright for filmmaking in Central New York. And I'm going to try one more time to show you the video from the Second Chance Canine Adoption Facility at Jamesville. Let's see.
Karoshi. Oh, this is Jesse James. He's the new addition to our family.
Karen and Rebecca adopted their 9-month-old fur baby a little over 2 months ago.
He knows how to sit, lay down, and he was fully potty trained by the time we got him as well. So it's been fantastic.
But their 4-legged family member wasn't trained at your local obedience school.
He kept his name, Jesse James, because we joke that we sprung Jesse James from the pen.
That's right. They sprung Jesse from Jamesville Correctional Facility. The prison opened the Second Chance Canine Adoption Shelter 4 weeks ago, allowing families to adopt their own little fur ball. But these pooches have to serve their time before being released for good behavior. They go through months of training by inmates.
First, it was just, to kill time, get out of the unit. Seeing them how they just interact with each other and not have a care in the world, it just kind of takes me to where they are, how they're feeling.
For 2 months, Chris worked closely with Jesse every day in the Slammer, preparing the pup for his second chance with a new family. Chris feels working with Jesse and the other dogs has helped him see the changes he wants to make in his own life, changes that will give him a second chance with a family, his own family.
Me and my younger son, he's 12 years old, maybe me and him could volunteer together and be sort of a bonding experience for the both of us.
The Second Chance Canine Adoption Facility has affected more than the dogs it has rescued. One couple can teach an abused dog how to trust again.
You're such a good boy.
And the meaning of family, while a man behind bars learns skills to make him a better father for his sons. A second chance for all. I'm Therese Garnier, NCC News.
I am very grateful to the county legislature. I know that was a hard one, and I hope you are as gratified with that video as I am. So you see some very good things are happening here in Onondaga County. While I showed you we are fiscally sound and I highlighted some of our department accomplishments, I wanted to illustrate for you the quiet competence of a county government getting things done every day. And I even had the chance to tell you about some of the extraordinary things that we're accomplishing. But there is another side to the coin, and this year we also heard a troubling report about how our success is not yet being shared by everyone. Dr. Paul Jargowski from Rutgers University came to town, and he put into words what all of us can see. Onondaga County still suffers with some of the highest concentrations of poverty among African Americans and Latinos. We very much live in a segregated community, and some of us are doing better than others. Interestingly, we've heard multiple times what Dr. Jargowski said the current situation is, but there has been much less said about what he calls our possible solutions. I attended the sessions with Dr. Jargowski in Syracuse, and I had the opportunity to listen to him and speak with him afterwards. He made a pretty compelling case for an overhaul of our land use policy and strongly encouraged us to recognize that we are all in this together. With that in mind, I'm encouraging you, the members of the county legislature, to read Dr. Jargowski's report. And I also call on you again this year to conduct committee meetings to discuss the county's land use planning report. The community celebrated when my predecessor, Nick Pirro, unveiled the county's 2010 plan. A crucial part of that plan was that it be updated every 5 years. The Syracuse Onondaga County Planning Agency prepared an update several years ago, and it's an outstanding document in terms of the data that it provides. With my support, it was sent to the legislature years ago, and I implore you to consider it. Ask questions, make suggestions, even vote it down if you must, but come up with your own plan if you do, because what we are doing now is clearly not working for all of us, and it's an abdication of our responsibility to the people we serve if we're just going to avoid talking about it. It's difficult enough to be poor, but it is exponentially more difficult when everyone around you is also poor. This is Central New York in 2016, and it is simply not okay to let any of our neighborhoods be left behind. In county government, we work continuously to break down barriers and level the playing field. We have made it a priority to hire minorities both inside and outside of county government. We've partnered for several years with On Point for College to make sure that students have access to summer jobs. Last year, I told you we were going to pilot a summer program with People's AME Zion Church, and I'm happy to report that it was very successful and we'll be expanding it this summer. Several years ago, we changed the language on our requests for proposals that go out to vendors requiring a plan from them for minority participation, and it's really had a good effect on the number of minority contractors that have been able to get work in county government. The recent construction of the amphitheater is a good illustration of the work we've done to make sure that there's equal access for minorities to participate in county projects. It was important to me that we be given permission from the state to construct with a design-build model in order to speed up the process. A requirement from the state in exchange for that permission was that the project be performed with a project labor agreement. And I really want to thank our partners in labor, not only for a job well done, but for the extra effort that they put in to breaking down barriers for minorities. Greg Lancette of the Building Trades Council negotiated first of its kind language to accommodate minority participation. I also want to publicly thank Gilbane for going above and beyond. Together, we held 2 outreach meetings with minority and women-owned businesses, and we funded a pre-apprentice program through SUNY EOC with the help of Joseph Bryant and Tim Penix. We held weekly meetings to monitor our progress, and we got results. Whether you measure by the number of employees working on the amphitheater, or the dollar amounts of the contracts, or the number of hours that people actually worked, we exceeded our goals. And I'm happy to report that we had a participation rate of over 22%. I do not know of any other public or private development that has achieved such success with minority and women participation. And as a matter of fact, it was a high compliment when I received an email from the Urban Jobs Task Force telling us that our reports were great. It takes tremendous work, and it takes a lot of tenacity to keep knocking down the barriers. And I want to publicly thank Mary Beth Primo, Sean Carroll, and Dwayne Owens for keeping everyone's feet to the fire. It is especially gratifying to have a beautiful facility built in record time, and we did it with a lot of new faces. And while I am very proud of this accomplishment, there really is still a lot of work to do. And the best way we know to break the cycle of chronic poverty is to invest in our youth. I have said many times that there is a linear path. We can either invest when children are young and give them the tools they need to succeed on their own, or we can spend our tax dollars making up for our failure to do so with inflated social services costs to support those who are unable to support themselves. We have been making the investment in our youth in many ways, and I'd like to highlight just a couple. Imagination Library is a program which provides children with a free book mailed to their home every month from birth through age 5. It started in 2 zip codes in Syracuse several years ago, and it's been incredibly effective. Our friends at Lemoyne College have carefully researched the program, and because we have children who have participated since birth and are now headed to kindergarten, we can see real data. The children who have participated in Imagination Library in the 13203 and 13206 zip codes in Syracuse, get this, are doing nearly as well on kindergarten readiness tests as the children in our highest performing school districts. The key to success for Imagination Library is getting the children enrolled as early as possible. And last summer, in that vein, the Department of Children and Family Services hired a very energetic young man to enroll children. This young man, a former foster child in Onondaga County, took on this challenge with unbelievable enthusiasm. We asked him to enroll 300 children over the 10-week summer program, and he was able to sign up well over 700 children himself. And I am proud to introduce to you Jamel Carey, and also happy to let you know that he now works full-time for Onondaga County since last May and has enrolled 1,500 children. It is incredibly powerful to witness the results of this program, and it's the reason I included funding in the 2016 budget to expand the program countywide. And I want to thank you, the members of the county legislature, for supporting this program. We've also been involved from the very beginning in the Say Yes to Education program. When you think of Say Yes to Education, you think of the free college tuition, and I hope that you have learned that it really is so much more. But the promise of free college education is the part of Say Yes that can be so transformative for our community. Education is the best ticket out of chronic poverty, and it is very important that we make sure that our kids have access to college. The key component is the Syracuse College Promise Endowment. The city school district, Say Yes Foundation, and the county have all worked together to prepare kids for college. And we've been telling the students that if they do their part and they work hard, we will do our part and make sure that they have the ability to attend college. Over the last 7 years, more than 1,000 donors, individual and corporate, have built an endowment of $10 million. Just today, Crouse Hospital joined the list of local organizations that are helping us fulfill our promise, and thousands of students have attended college under the Syracuse College Promise Compact. Say Yes promises free college tuition, but without a fully funded endowment, the promise is not sincere. The $10 million raised locally is very generous, but it's not enough. We have come up short, and the future of Say Yes to Education is in serious jeopardy. We need to do more. And people have been doing more, particularly the incredibly dedicated teachers. But the clock is ticking, and the college funding will not be available for long unless something changes. A tremendous amount of work has gone into the program in the last 7 years, and the county's model, where we bring services right into the school buildings, is now a national model. The seeds of success have been sown, and there is real data to show that it works, both in terms of keeping kids in school and in our test scores, particularly the 9th grade algebra regents and the graduation rates that are now trending upward. It would be tragic to let it come apart now for a lack of funding. Chairman McMahon and the members of the legislature are aware that not only is it the right thing to do to support the children in the program, but that it makes good economic sense. A successful Say Yes program means a better trained workforce and lower social services costs. So, Chairman McMahon and I have made it a top priority, and working in partnership with the Regional Economic Development Council, we made fulfilling the college promise and saving Say Yes to Education a priority in the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. You all know that we were successful in the URI competition, and we were awarded $500 million. What you may not know is that Governor Cuomo included $20 million to the Central New York Community Foundation to complete the Syracuse College Promise Endowment. It is true. Our Say Yes endowment is funded, and we will be able to keep the promises we made to our children. Ryan, I want to thank Ryan McMahon very much. I want to thank the members of the county legislature, the members of the Regional Economic Development Council, Governor Cuomo, for making our kids a priority. We are sending a clear message to parents of children that go to Syracuse schools that we care. And if you stay in school and graduate, a college education and a brighter future will be yours. Thank you to everybody who made this happen. And now that I have your attention, there is another component of the URI called consensus, and it has generated some healthy discussion. We will always have the voices that oppose all change, and they are easily tuned out when they have nothing constructive to offer. But some of the discussion has really been productive, and I was happy to learn that the public comment period has been extended. I think some people have lost track of the origin of consensus. It's an outgrowth of the Syracuse 2020 organization, and it was funded through a grant that was obtained by Senator DeFrancisco. It is ably led by former Congressman Jim Walsh, Attorney Catherine Richardson, and retired ESF President Neil Murphy. The 2-year effort was pitched to the Regional Economic Development Council for funding, and it was included in its application for the URI competition. Many, many elected officials over the last several decades have touted some form of consolidation in an effort to create a more modern and efficient government, but this effort has impressive data behind it and a commitment to robustly engage the public. The consensus part of our URI application made Central New York stand out, and it's a big reason we won the $500 million competition, which incidentally also includes the Say Yes Scholarship Fund, among other great things. It's been a little disappointing, but not at all surprising to hear the negativity. Negative is easy. Have you ever really stopped to think about that? No is much easier than yes. If you say no to everything, then you have no work to do. But yes is hard, and yes takes a lot of work, and yes takes leadership. And when you propose a brand new park with an amphitheater on the shore of Onondaga Lake, the no's go home and have dinner with their families. There is nothing else to do because I said no. It's the yeses that do all of the work, and it's the yeses that put in the long hours to make the community a better place for our kids. But I will let you in on a little secret. The negativity fuels us. It inspires us to prove them wrong. We take all the reasons people tell us why we can't do things, and then we go and we do them. You can blame my parents if you want. It's in my DNA. I joke with people that it's the reason I have this job. If I had a nickel for every person who told me that I couldn't do it, I would be a very wealthy woman. It is very gratifying for me to be able to prove naysayers wrong, and the amphitheater was a tremendous opportunity to do that. First, we had a whole round of, it's impossible to build on that site, it will never happen. And then came the, no way will they be able to do it that fast. This is one of my favorite letters to the editor from that time right here. The timetable for Onondaga Lake Amphitheater is far too ambitious, it says, and Gilbane, as a construction manager, still has to bid all the major subcontractors under public bidding rules, and it's doubtful that there will even be major subs under contract by, let's say, February or March. That leaves 4.5 months to complete a $60 million project. Better add a year, and that might still be tight. That's a huge, unusual site, and they have to drive piles for all the big supporting columns, which is an agonizingly slow process, and there's a lot of environmental work as well, and that's my favorite part. That would be a miracle. Well, miracles do happen, but they take a lot of elbow grease. After that, we heard about the amphitheater. We can't afford it. And I personally think that objection is ridiculous. We can't afford not to make these kinds of investments. For those hoping for failure, they point to revenue generated by ticket sales and compare it to the capital cost of the park. Really? Do you really not get the big picture? Do you really not understand how the economy works? We already have 18 shows booked for this summer, and we expect 200,000 people. These people are going to spend $17.5 million while they're here, and that increased spending is going to induce an additional $8 million in indirect spending for a total economic impact of over $25 million, and it will affect jobs for 374 people, and that is just in the first year. That money that's circulating is going to help our local businesses, and it generates sales tax every time it circulates. I implore you to please pick up your head and look around. Look at this picture from opening night. Do you really think it's about the $15,000 that the event generated inside the park? Or do you get that this is bigger in every way? When the season ends, ask the business owners what they think, and ask the young people who want a quality of life in Central New York, and stop being constant negative nabobs and appreciate that this is a wonderful thing for us, and it was the yeses who got it done. And consider this too, for the members of the legislature who don't always just take my word for everything. The revenue from the Turning Stone, which we use to pay the bond, is exceeding our projections. And the negativity, though, hasn't stopped. Artists aren't going to want to play there. People won't want to go there. Parking is going to be bad. It's all country. And now people are complaining that they can't get tickets to the Dave Matthews Band because the reserved seating sold out so quickly. And I said, just listen to that one and tell me again why this was such a bad idea. We have 18 shows booked so far, and we're joined here tonight by John Garland from Symphoria, who plans to bring the orchestra to the amphitheater for a 4th of July concert complete with fireworks. It is going to be a fabulous summer. Before I finish tonight, though, I thought it might be interesting, in light of some of the comments that I've heard about consensus, to remind ourselves that this conversation is not new. As a matter of fact, it is difficult to give you the history very succinctly because we have talked about it for a long time. But I believe in times like these, there is value in a little historical perspective. For decades, the city and county governments fought about whether to consolidate purchasing operations. It's been fun to reread all the old news articles in light of the current consensus conversation, and I do think there's some value in remembering that we have done all of this before. In November of 1993, a Herald Journal editorial touted the fact that Republicans held the county executive office, the Syracuse mayor's office, and control of both the Common Council and the county legislature. And the paper said consolidation at last should be on the fast track. And they said, quote, "These are not new ideas." And it was 1993. A very few weeks later, County Executive Nick Pirro and Mayor Roy Bernardi announced that the city and county would merge their purchasing departments. Nick called it an important first step, and Roy said, "It's long overdue. We're one entity here, really, and we serve the same people day in and day out. It doesn't matter if it's done by the county or the city." In December that year, the Herald Journal again editorialized in favor of the purchasing merger and said, "We hope that once the towns see what the city and county are doing, they will join in and realize some savings for their taxpayers as well," and said, "In this age of shrinking public resources, consolidation only makes sense." March 5th, 1994, at his State of the County address, which is very much like the one I'm giving right now, Nick said, quote, "For years we've supported the elimination of overlapping governmental services, but traditions die hard, and the way we've always done things is not reason enough for maintaining old spending habits." Sure enough, and I am editing for you, but I want you to get the gist. In September of 1994, the headline in the paper read, "City-County Consolidation Stalls." And the editorial which followed asked if consolidation was a dead issue. In November of 1994, the headline was, "Towns Turning to Shared Services, Municipalities, School Districts Look for Ways to Consolidate." And Nick Pirro was again quoted saying, "Consolidation doesn't necessarily mean elimination. It can mean working together, sharing equipment, and sharing services. It doesn't mean someone has to lose their identity." The paper went on to quote Governor Al Smith from the 1920s, for heaven's sakes. Governor Smith called for a full and comprehensive study of county government throughout the state, looking to a reform that will promote efficiency and make it more economic. A state panel in 1935 agreed, and Claytown Councilor Don McLaughlin was quoted in 1994 saying, "They knew it back then. Isn't it about time we did something?" March of 1995, the Herald Journal announced that the city and county purchasing operations would merge in July of that year. And on January 31st, 1996, the Post-Standard read, "Mayor calls for merged services. Bernardi says the time has come to create an all-new, encompassing metropolitan government. We should combine our strengths," he said. "The city's budget woes are the budget woes of this entire community, and we cannot shy away from them," he said. County Executive Pirro had attended Bernardi's speech, and he was quoted saying he supported the mayor's message and would be glad to merge some operations, including purchasing, with the city of Syracuse. In August of 1995, control of the Common Council had changed, and the headline read, "Majority cool to merger idea. A plan to combine city and county purchasing departments doesn't seem to have support." And then 2 days later, the Herald Journal again editorialized asking, "In what way are city taxpayers better served by maintaining a redundant administrative department? Don't invoke that conveniently murky but serious sounding old bromide control. What would city residents actually be losing besides the expense? How would their lives change?" The paper further chastised the negative vote, stating, "This action insults voters' intelligence. A worthy argument has nothing to fear from open debate." This really isn't about policy. This is a turf battle, plain and simple, that would be underwritten by taxpayers. And they said genuine leaders wouldn't let that happen. In October of 1997, city council candidates said things like, if we're going to make a difference in the financial condition of the city, it's going to happen through consolidation. And the purchase department should be rolled into the county. And it's the same shovel that the school district buys and the same shovel that the city and county are going to buy. And unless we consolidate this city, I think we will continue to struggle fiscally. In August of 1998, Nick Pirro was back on the record saying the merger couldn't happen soon enough for him. For the city to claim they don't have any money, $500,000 would have bought a lot of snowplows and kept a lot of school programs. September 1998, a city councilor was quoted saying, "We've never been against consolidation. The problem was not having enough time." Does that sound familiar? In October of 1998, there was a great headline in another Post-Standard editorial. "Hear ye, hear ye. Now for the next installment in the great purchasing debate." Are you still with us? The paper asks, who cares who buys pencils and snowplows? And they answered their question with, here's who cares. Counselors who are still nervous about county government moving in on their turf. I wish I had more time because the articles are completely on point and they could be written again today. The words used today are sometimes precisely the same words that were used 20 years ago. But for purposes of time, I will tell you there are a lot more articles and I'll encourage you to look them up. Roy Bernardi made a presentation to the Thursday morning roundtable and called for a regional government to more efficiently deliver services to the 19 towns and 15 villages and proposed a community-wide effort with business and community leaders to plan for the creation of a metropolitan government. He said he wanted to assemble a committee from outside the so-called political arena to complete a study that would show the enormous benefits to be gained by breaking down costly layers of government. We have too much government, he said. A survey by Focus Greater Syracuse, and God bless Chucky Holstein, in 1999, a survey by Focus Greater Syracuse said that most people want consolidation and sharing of service. In 2000 and 2001, the same conversation continued, more talk of fear and giving up control in politics. And here, even I made a cameo. In April of 2001, Syracuse Post-Standard said, Councilor Joanne Mahoney, which is my mother's name, said the city would be taking a step back if it abandons consolidation talks. And then fast forward to 2011, when that same city councilor was county executive. And are you ready for it? It's anticlimactic after all of the debate, but here it is. June 27th, 2011. 3 employees of the Syracuse City Purchasing Department will start work Friday for Onondaga County under a consolidation of purchasing offices that won its final approval Monday from the Syracuse City Council. County legislators previously approved the consolidation, and Mary Vossler, city budget director, said the city will save $221,000 a year in salaries and benefits thanks to the merger. So we did it. And I'm going to venture a guess that a lot of you never noticed. And that's just the salaries. The purchasing department consolidation saves millions with its volume purchasing power, and it's partnered for purchasing now with over 70 municipalities, including towns, villages, and the city school district, fire districts, and even outside counties. And guess what? No one even notices. It's one of the many ways we're able to continually reduce your property tax levy. So please, as we engage in yet another community-wide debate about consolidation, dust off your history books. This isn't happening last minute. It isn't too quick or happening in the dark of night and being shoved down our throats, as the nabobs like to say. And it isn't being driven by me, and it certainly isn't being driven by Governor Cuomo. If you are looking for a governor to blame, you're going to have to start with Al Smith. Governor Cuomo is guilty of supporting our latest effort, which the Regional Economic Development Council asked him to do by allocating state money for the process. And there is a long history of people supporting the effort. From Al Smith, one of the most progressive governors the state has ever had, to Nick Pirro, one of the most conservative county executives that we've ever had, and a lot of mayors, city councilors, county legislators, town and village officials, and most importantly, everyday citizens who want their children and grandchildren to stay in central New York. So this is your time. The public has the chance once again to weigh in on our future. Maybe we will do something differently this time, or maybe we will just compile more news clippings for our community scrapbook. Check out this one from last night. Concerns about political power dominated a session about the potential city-county merger. City councilor hostile to the plan. He says, quote, a public referendum on metropolitan government should be postponed for at least 18 months of discussion. Well, I have some sobering news for you, councilor. We've actually been debating it since before you were born. And if you take an honest look around, the city hasn't gotten stronger during the debate. Maybe it's time to actually do something. And the truth is, there's a lot we can do. The report includes 51 recommendations, most of which the county already does. And I'm here to tell you tonight that we stand ready in county government to find ways to work together on any of the recommendations that the community wants us to. And in closing, I just want to say thank you. I cannot believe that this is my 9th State of the County address. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to do what I do. My husband is here tonight with our 2 older boys who are now in college, and it's my job to embarrass them. Here's them the day I was sworn in. When I asked for the opportunity to make our community a place where all of our kids could grow up and thrive. Everything we do is filtered through the lens of what's best for the next generation, and I am proud to say we are making progress. Thank you all very much.